Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm an author and speaker. I'm the author of the new book, Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, available now in paperback, Kindle, and Audible book. If you would like to schedule a twin flame reading with me, I do 30, 60, and 90-minute readings. Now, for the new year, I'm doing New Year's readings for your whole year, and I can also do one in conjunction with your twin flame. To book a reading, you can email me at michellefondinauthor@gmail.com. You can also go to my website, fondinwellness.com. If you're new to my YouTube channel, welcome! Please subscribe below, hit the bell for notifications, and give the video a thumbs up. Today, we're doing Gemini Twin Flame Tarot reading for 2020. Now, this works if you are Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Gemini, or if your twin flame is Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Gemini. We are reading for the entire year of 2020 for your twin flame connection. We are going to work on all 4 quarters of 2020, and I'm working today with 3 tarot decks for Gemini, and you will get clear messages for your twin flame connection for all of 2020. Now, I'm going to ask your angels and guides to help us. Gemini, I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to stand guard, casting away any lower energies with his sword of light. I'm going to ask the twin flame angels and romance angels to be here with us, Gemini. So let's just go ahead and pick these cards for Gemini for the 4 quarters of 2020, starting with, this is the Angel Tarot deck. This is one of my favorite decks. If you've watched my weekly readings, then you know that I always use the Angel Tarot deck for my weekly readings. If you've not yet viewed the Twin Flame weekly readings, just view the last 2. Go back to the playlist for Twin Flames and view the last 2 so you can kind of get the energy update of what the Twin Flame Collective has been going through. And the way I read, really, that's a good way just to get how I do my weekly readings as well. This is the Fairy Tarot deck. I believe this is going to be a very, very magical year for all twin flames in 2020. I am especially channeling for twin flames who have come into initial union in 2018 or 2019. And I really believe that for that twin flame collective that came into first 3D union in 2018 or 2019, I really believe that 2020 is going to be a magical twin flame year for you if you are in this collective. Now, of course, everybody is different on the journey, right? Everybody is in a different stage in their twin flame journey. Not all 2 twin flame journeys are exactly the same. There are always slight variations. If you viewed my video on the twin flame matrix, you will understand that the angels told me through a channeled message that twin flames have a very unique journey for each one to come into reunion. So while the stages of the twin flame journey may look similar, there's some similar patterns, most definitely, that the journey to reunion for you and your twin, they're so unique. They're absolutely unique. No 2 twin flame journeys are exactly the same. It's like snowflakes, and that's the way I like to describe it. So we're really gonna delve into what will your twin flame journey look like for 2020, Gemini. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is that this is a general reading. If you want to get an individualized reading for your individual twin flame situation, it's always best to get a personalized reading. And a personalized reading is going to typically give you the peace of mind that you need to just confirm your journey. I can certainly do a twin flame reading for 2020 for you and your specific twin to really get a more personalized outlook. So let's take a look at the first quarter of 2020, Gemini. Let's look at January, February, and March of 2020 for you guys on this twin flame journey. What I am seeing, it's really funny. What I'm seeing in the January, February, and March, I'm not seeing a whole lot going on with the romantic connection, but I certainly am seeing a lot going on with your personal life if you are a Gemini in the twin flame connection. If you are a Gemini or your twin flame is a Gemini, this is what's happening for you. What I see is that there's a lot to do with studying, going back to school, or maybe getting a certificate a training certificate in something new, getting a promotion, doing some career advancement with work, really focusing on your work life. I'm seeing that. It's crazy. I'm seeing that there's just a lot of work to do with advancing your career. Therefore, what I see is advancing your finances as well. And there is something in you that, even though you know you need to work on advancing yourself, your personal self, and your career, there's something that is holding you back. There's this fear that makes you think that you're trapped. And Gemini, you're saying, I can't get that better job. I can't move on to the next level. It's really hard. I've tried to get that promotion. I've tried to study something harder. I've tried to get that degree before. It's been expensive. I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I can't move forward in my career. But what the angels are saying for January, February, and March is, yes, you can. This fear, this Eight of Winter fear, is an illusion. This is like the Eight of Swords. It's an illusion. You have the magic touch within you because you have the Page of Fire. This is a sorceress that is creating magic in her crystal ball. She's creating this beautiful phoenix. It's the rebirth from the ashes. So they're saying this stuff, the Eight of Winter, has more to do with your own self-confidence. That's what it has to do with. It has nothing to do with your abilities. It has nothing to do with your resources, because the resources are there, or they will appear, or they'll be there, or you'll get that student loan, or you'll have the knock on the door and get that opportunity to apply for a better position. It's there. It's absolutely there. It's all in your head. It's like, I don't have enough confidence in myself to go on to the next level. But you do. You actually do. So just know that. Know that you do have the capabilities, the talents, the wherewithal to go to the next level in your career, your passion, your project, your education, whatever you're doing for yourself and your personal development. You absolutely, positively have what it takes. And so this, I believe, because this is having to do more with your personal development, this is about the law of attraction. I believe that this is more about you staying in positive thoughts so that you attract to yourself these opportunities that you are actually seeking in January, February, and March, Gemini. It's been something that's been on your mind for quite some time. It's almost like you feel that you can't move forward with your twin until you've established this opportunity. You almost feel like I need to be able to move forward in my career, in my work, in my studies. I almost can't do it until I can step up to the plate and have the self-confidence that I need to move forward. Now, what I'm seeing for second quarter, Gemini, is more of this self-doubt and overwork. For some reason, in January, February, and March, what you have done actually is you have started the wheels turning forward to get this next step in your career and money and promotion and education. So you've started this wheel moving forward, but instead of letting go and letting God, instead of having faith and saying, well, you know, I took one step, now God takes another step, or the universe or spirit takes another step. So I'm going to take one step and let God take a step for me. And then I'll take another step and let God take another step for me. In second quarter, instead of doing that, and let this just be a warning to you, you're trying to work too hard at it. You're really trying to work too hard. And what's happening is it's creating a lot of stress and tension for you, because what we have here is the Two of Winter with the Ten of Fire, or the Ten of Wands, which the Ten of Wands is about overwork, and the Two of Winter, the Two of Swords, is about internal conflict. And I really see this as internal conflict. So here is what I am seeing. I'm seeing that there may be an opportunity for you and your twin flame to work something out together, but you're stuck in this phase of, I must work so hard to attain what I've started in the beginning of the year with my work and career, that I truly don't have time to reconnect with my twin flame. Now, this sounds very much like a divine masculine energy, Gemini, and it very well may be. You could be a Gemini, but your twin flame could also be a Gemini. And I'm seeing this as there might be an opportunity, but I'm not going to let it happen because I need to work as much as I can to make this promotion happen, to make this study, this graduation happen. And it's magnified by the fact that you are overworking and undersleeping. You're overworking and you're undersleeping. And this Nine of Michael, this Nine of Swords energy is coming to you. This is sleepless nights. This is worry. This is fret. This is not staying in faith, Gemini. And you really, honestly, need to stay in faith. Stay in faith and stay in trust that you don't have to work to the bone, Gemini. You do not have to work to the bone, that it's part work, part trust. It kind of goes 50-50, hand in hand. So as much as you work, you have to surrender that much too, because you cannot have a balanced life and you can't be happy, Gemini. You can't be happy if you're constantly worrying, if you're constantly overworking as well. You really need that balance. It's not all or nothing. It's not black or white. It's a balance of both. Now, what I'm seeing too is that part of the problem, and it's getting better, I promise you. Part of the problem, Gemini, in Q2 is that there are some children in the mix. They may be your children. They may be your twin flames children. This is one of the reasons for the overwork. This is one of the reasons for you working like a dog and not trusting that the universe will provide for you. It's honestly, it's a lack of trust. That's what I'm saying. It's a lack of trust that I need to provide for my children or my twins' children. I need to make this work. I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can. And I'm just going to work myself to the bone, but I'm not sleeping and I'm worrying while I'm asleep about work. It's just crazy, right? But this is saying your worry is unnecessary. Your worry is unnecessary. Part of the journey, Gemini, is surrender. It's surrender. It's not about the bull force attitude of, like, I'm going to push through and just make things happen. It's not that. Okay, things do get better, however. Q3, we are talking about July, August, and September. Finally, you're allowing yourself a little bit of passion. Thank God. I love this because this is Knight of Fire. Now, this is a good omen because you're learning your lesson in Q2, Gemini, moving into Q3, which is awesome because this is the Knight of Fire. This is about sudden movement, things happening passionately. It could mean a torrid love affair with your twin. But what this could mean, as well as the torrid, sexy love affair with your twin, but this is also allowing someone to help you. It's working together on a project. Working great together on a project. You're not showing resistance now. This is allowing you and your twin to work together on a creative endeavor, but with passion, so that you can have the best of both worlds. You can have your work world and you can have your love world, and you can mix the two. And it's amazing. It's amazing because now you figured it out. You figured out I don't have to choose. I can have both. But I can also ask for help, so I don't have to go at it all alone and have all this worry and all this burden. It's crazy. So Q3, you're starting to figure things out. You're like, all right, I guess I can have both. Another part of Q3, which is totally great, is this sense of, this is the Four of Michael, which is the Four of Air, which is a rest card. And it says calling in your soulmate, which again, in this deck, there is no twin flame card. There's a soulmate card or several soulmate cards. There is no twin flame card. So let's read it as a twin flame because this is a twin flame reading after all. And it's about taking a rest with your twin flame, going on a vacation with your twin flame. This is July, August, and September. Go ahead, take that darned vacation with your twin flame. Take that vacation. You deserved it. You have been working at this point way too hard for 2020. Way too hard. And you finally figured out, oh, I can work and play. I can totally work and play. It doesn't have to be all work and no play. I can actually do both and take a vacation even. Go figure. That's great news. Quarter 4, it's more about, I love it. It's more about your learning and growing. But what I see with fourth quarter in 2020 is that you have done growth by leaps and bounds by the fourth quarter of 2020. We're looking at October, November, and December Gemini of 2020, and I am seeing enormous growth. I'm seeing that you are finally looking at things from a totally different perspective. You're realizing that there's more to life than just working yourself to the bone and not trusting that the universe will provide for you. Because I see the Awakening card with the Queen of Spring card. The Queen of Spring card, which is the Queen of Fire or the Queen of Wands, which is really about raising your self-confidence and being very balanced. Even with this, I like with this Awakening card is sometimes called balancing. It's got the number 12. There are 12 months in a year. I find that this is about looking at things from a different perspective to have a more balanced perspective, as well as this great desire and great self-confidence to move forward, but move forward in your life in a more balanced way. So we started the year with a fear to move forward, for fear of not having enough confidence or skill, to finally being able to move forward, look at things from a different perspective, and also have a balanced perspective, which is an amazing turnaround from quarter 1 to quarter 4 in 2020. It's just amazing. Now, if you are the Gemini in the twin flame couple, then please thank your twin flame for being patient. Okay, say thank you so much for being patient. Because you're not easy to deal with this year in the sense of your priorities. Your priorities have not always been twin flame couple is the first priority. And for the twin flame counterpart, that can be really difficult, especially if they have waited a long time for you. Now, if it's your twin that is the Gemini, then just know that you're having to be a little patient this year. It's not that it's not happening. It really isn't. The first 6 months might be a little slow on it, but by July, they will have figured out that I can have both worlds. I really can. I can have my twin flame romantic relationship world, and I can have my work world, and they're not clashing worlds. In fact, with my twin as a Gemini, I can work things out so that I can be of help and I can be helped in this. We can work together. Now, there's a little bit of a snafu with moving backward into these emotional behaviors that might not really serve the relationship, Gemini. I am seeing that, and this card, now if you viewed this card has come up before for another reading. I believe it came up for Taurus as well in fourth quarter. It may have come up for one other astrological sign as well. Of course, depending on the reading, the interpretation is totally different. Gemini. Fourth quarter, the interpretation of this card is your way of dealing with stress because of overwork, because of your high expectations of yourself, have not always been very constructive. They have been rather destructive to your health. So you may have found, Gemini, that in times of high stress, you've depended too heavily on things like drugs, alcohol, sleeping pills to get past that 9 of Michael energy to be able to sleep. You've been maybe indulging in like pain-killing pills. There's been something or some sort of other destructive behavior that's trying to mask or as a stress release for this overwork. And sorry, but in the fourth quarter, this is kind of coming back to haunt you. And it's becoming a real problem for you and your twin flame together. You've done so much growth this year, Gemini. You've done an enormous amount of growth. That don't let something so silly like this ruin it for you. These self-destructive behaviors, and there may just be one. I mean, who knows what it is, right? It could be overeating. It doesn't have to be a drug or alcohol. It could be overeating. But Gemini, because you tend to be very harsh on yourself, have very high expectations for yourself, do not indulge in self-destructive behaviors just because it's a stress release. And that's something that you're gonna have to overcome fourth quarter, because your twin flame has seen these changes throughout the year. Your twin flame non-Gemini has seen these changes throughout the year, but they want to know that you're still worth waiting for. Like, they want to know that these self-destructive patterns that have been on replay, even though you've had the growth, some of these self-destructive patterns have been on replay. They want to know that you're still worth waiting for. So they really want to know that you're going to turn things around so that you don't repeat the self-destructive behavioral patterns of the past. And your job, Gemini, is going to be to reassure them that even though stress comes and goes, even though the stresses of work come and go, or family, or friends, or whatever, that you are the only one who is responsible for your own behavior. Nobody else is responsible for your behavior but you. No one is responsible for your response to stress than you. You are the only one responsible for how you actually respond to stress. And you need to explain that to your twin flame so that they understand. So that they understand that you're learning that. You're learning that you can find fresh and new ways to respond to stress, so that when you move into 2021 and you really want to make that firm commitment to your twin flame, because for Gemini, whether the Gemini is a divine masculine or the divine feminine, I'm not necessarily seeing in 2020 that the divine masculine or feminine twin flame Gemini is necessarily ready for a firm commitment. We're talking about engagement or marriage. But they will move along and move forward with you if yours is a Gemini, but they will move along and move forward with you because they're learning. They're still learning and growing. They're still learning and growing of how to manage this stress, how to manage the balance, how to manage not being so hard on themselves so that they have healthier patterns. And when they have healthier patterns for themselves, they're gonna have healthier patterns for the relationship as well. Those are the messages for you, Gemini. I hope this resonated with you. And again, it's going to resonate with a certain number of you that are Geminis, or if your twin flame is a Gemini. It's not going to resonate with everybody because this is not a specific reading for a specific situation or person. But for many of you, it will resonate. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Hit the bell for notifications, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing with other twin flames, and thank you so much for supporting this YouTube channel by buying a book or two or three, or donating to Patreon. We do a private party podcast for patrons only. www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin, and I will see you in the next video.